So today we're going to carve a design I made based on some bedposts from an old Viking burial ship in a place called Oselberg. So in order to get the design onto the wood, I'm going to lay down some carbon paper and then put this template over the top. And then I'm just going to pin down all the corners with some masking tape. But I'm going to measure it first to make sure I got the design central. So I'm going to start by using this small V chisel just to go around the whole outside edge. So now what I'm going to do is use this small gouge to go around the outside of this eye. I think it will fit. I might have to use a bigger gouge, slightly bigger gouge, and curve it over so this kind of sticks out. And then these other round balls here, I'm going to scoop out so we have a kind of contrast. Now I'm going to use this flat chisel to round this one over. I normally use a flat bench chisel like this for this kind of thing because they're my sharpest chisels. They're the ones that are easiest to get sharp because of the honing guide. So it makes it easier for me to slice away wood like this. Though I will probably have to use a smaller one when we get down to smaller details. Okay, so we're going to use the bendy boy to outline all these features here and try and make it look like, so this is a kind of ribbon that's going in and out of this piece. It's kind of done in a strange way because of how it was designed on the bedpost, but let's see if we can replicate it. And then I think I'm going to take the area on the kind of top of the head away here with a gouge just to kind of sink it down a little bit. Right, so I'm just going to take a V chisel now to do this outline here. And then after that, we're going to start making these squares kind of angle backwards. So we'll cut them down at an angle so that this is the lowest point, and this should end up being the highest point. But I'm going to start from the middle because that's where it'll be easiest, and then work my way to the outer edges where it's a bit more tricky. I think I've actually figured out a better way of carving this pattern now, so I'm gonna take you through that. So up to this point, I've just been trying to kind of cut and carve each individual one, but I think the better method is to cut this upside down V on each of these squares all over the board, and then start cutting them away, because I think that'll give you more freedom to be able to do it, and will result in less of this kind of scratchy looking stuff going on here. So let's give it a go and see if that works better. So now, since I've cut the stop cuts and all of these bits, I'm just going to take out the very tips of these across the whole board, or at least the bits I can get to. I can't do these curvy bits yet, I'll do those afterwards, and we'll see what it looks like. So let's give it a go. I figure I can just come in here like this and keep the point so it's angled down this way a little bit, so that the very top corner is the lowest point. And I'll just do that across the whole board, and then we'll see how it looks, and we can adjust accordingly after that, I reckon. This already feels like it's working out much better, and it's probably a fast way of doing it as well, to be honest. Probably a more efficient way than fussing over each little corner like I was before. So while I clean all these little bits up with the bendy boy chisel, I just want to say thanks to all my patrons who help to support the channel, and those of you in the Bendy Boy Society will have already got the template for this carving. And I will let you know now that the next template is going to be a free one, and it's one I've already designed, and it was the one suggested by Carve. He was talking about some Roman architecture, so that is what I'm going to be bringing you in the next carving tutorial. Thanks very much, patrons, appreciate it as always. Now for these weird bits along the edges, we just have to kind of remember where they're going. They're slanting down and backwards, right? So we want to have stop cuts at the top, and then still have everything slanting to the back there. And now the camera's in the way, so I have to move it. We've done our stop cut. We just want it to lean backwards, and you probably have to use a couple of different kind of chisels here. Like for instance, I've got a bit of mess down in this corner here that I'm going to have to clean up with a small chisel probably in a minute, or the knife or something like that. So that's it. That's kind of given the same pattern on that one, right? And we kind of want to come in here and take this away as well. So now I'm going to keep it going. The problem is here we have a curve, so we could use a gouge like this. You could use the corner of a chisel as well, or a knife. And now I just want to bring all that down so it's going down. So it's going down that way like all the others are. And then it's just rinse and repeat across the rest of it. I mean, this one we can do with this, a lot of it anyway. And then down there, and we'll come down here like this. And that should give us, you know, a similar looking pattern across the whole thing. Obviously I've got to come back, like I said, and clean up little bits like under here. Make these flatter, clean up the edges and everything, but that gives you an idea of how to make it match the rest of it. Well, that turned out looking pretty cool. I think it was a bit hard to figure out those little kind of, I guess they're like scales, right? Little kind of scales there at the bottom. And even though this scale part isn't part of the original bedpost design on the Oseberg ship, it was featured on some of the other carvings on the ship, so I thought I'd add that down there just to give it a little bit of flavour, make it a little bit different than what it was. So yeah, if you're a member of the Bendy Boy Society on Patreon, you can get this template. And this bit of wood is going to be for our next one. I'm basically using every single sliver of wood that I could from these bits that I bought. And this is going to be to do with Roman architecture, and that's going to be a free template for everyone who's a free member on Patreon. So template coming for you guys soon once I carve this Roman architecture on it. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but maybe you get an inkling as to what it's going to be from the size of this piece of wood. Anyway, thanks so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, leave me a comment on other tutorials that you'd like to see to do with relief carving, and I will catch you again next time.